Welcome back. The South African economy is improving, but analysts say this requires a cautious cheer. Figures came out blazing this morning, recording a 1.3% growth in 2017, exceeding National Treasury's expectation of 1% growth. The last few years were tough for the South African economy as it was recovering from a debilitating drought and experiencing sluggish growth. After a wobbly start to 2017, the economy moved from 0% growth to 0.7%. Market watchers were still waiting for fourth quarter growth to paint the picture for last year as a whole, and the figure surprised many.
It was a lot stronger than the market expected. We were projecting about 1.5%, and I think in the context of the improvement in sentiment that we've had since the start of the year, certainly a very welcome figure. And if you look at in terms of where the growth actually comes from, it was fairly broad-based. There were some sectors that sort of stood out. Agriculture certainly one of those.
During his budget speech last month, former Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba announced a GDP growth of 1% for 2017, up from 0.7% in October. But the economy grew by 1.3%. Statistics says mining growth was spurred on in part by an increase in production. Agriculture had a bumper maize crop and recorded growth of nearly 18% in 2017. Animal products recorded an even bigger rise in production in the last quarter of last year compared to the third quarter. Although there's concern that the debate around land expropriation could affect future growth.
Agriculture is just about 2% of total GDP. The land question is a key one, and I think it will be important to address it and address it fairly quickly in order to clear out any uncertainty regarding what South Africa's land policy should be. But I don't expect that in 2018 specifically this big debate around land is going to have a huge impact on agricultural activity, because as you know, for summer crops specifically, the plantings have already been done and we're just waiting to get a sense of what the harvest is going to look like.
Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene says National Treasury is likely to raise its growth forecast upwards for this year and next year during the medium-term budget policy statement in October. This is a result of improved business and investor confidence. After meeting rating agency Moody's yesterday, he was upbeat that South Africa had done enough to stave off another credit rating downgrade. Eskom will have improved in the next 3 to 6 months. This is an assurance given by new Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan, who in his new portfolio is tasked with the turnaround. Speaking at a conference convened by the Federation of Unions in South Africa that concludes in Pretoria today, he sounded a hopeful note. Gordhan takes over from Lynn Brown, and first on his agenda is to crack the whip rather on corruption and clean